This is Oba Babatunde from SWAT. What's taking you so long to get to us?
Hey guys, it's Lauren Yates from Rave It Up here, and today we're going to be having a chat over Zoom with actress and comedian Ginger Gonzaga, who you may know playing Helen Tasker in the new TV show True Lies, or Nikki in She-Hulk. Before we get into today's interview, we would like to give a shout out to our Patreons. If you would like to support us too and receive free and behind the scenes stuff for as little as $4 a month, go check us out on Patreon. Patreon.com/Rave It Up. Ginger, welcome to Rave It Up. It is a pleasure to have you on our show. How are you going today?
I'm well, thanks. Thanks for having me.
You're very welcome. Well, since this is your first time on our show, we'd love to get to know you a little bit better, and I think we should start from the beginning of your career, if that's okay, to get a good idea of how you've made it to where you are today. I did a little bit of research on, your childhood and your family as well. Your mother's Dutch and your father's Filipino. Yeah. That's a very interesting combination of backgrounds. Is that a really big family of yours too? Or is it
is big on my Dutch side as well. I mean, it's huge on my Filipino side because my dad has like 8 brothers and sisters. Wow. And weirdly, that family was a lot of that family was in like the small country town I grew up in. And then my mom, we had a pretty large, everyone was in the same area at least. My mom had 3 brothers and sisters. So yeah.
Oh my goodness. And do you have heaps of brothers and sisters yourself too?
I have 2 brothers. Yes, I'm the middle child. So whatever tropes come with that, I have all of them.
Competitive side, that's where you get it from, hey?
Yeah, I'm like, is it that I'm a middle child or that I'm a Taurus? I never know what to blame things on.
Bit of both.
Yeah. What about you? Do you have a large family?
I'm an only child. I'm really lucky. I'm very close with my 2 parents. We're like the 3 musketeers, we like to call each other.
Yeah. Oh, that's so cute. I've always heard that only children are superstars. And honestly, the people that I know who are only childs, they're all little superstars.
Oh, wanted to be called that then too. And I'm just truly Australian. Like I don't have anything interesting in that regard, unfortunately. I was really surprised to learn as well that you majored in political science in university. That is very different from anything in entertainment. Why political science? Was that a little bit of like, you called like the plan B?
Yeah, I started going to college when I was 15 in the summers. I went to UC Berkeley, which is one of our schools out here. So I had already done a year of college at Berkeley once I was done with high school. And when I studied at Berkeley, I did political science and international relations and stuff like that because I did a lot of speech and debate, and that's what I competed in, was kind of things with that focus. So then once I got to college, I was like, well, I've already done this, so I'm not going to change my mind now. So I just kept going with this thing that I didn't really want to do. I mean, I did like it. I had planned on being an attorney, and I taught the law school test prep out here that's how I made money in college. And I loved international law and I loved all of that. I minored in Chinese, which was really hard. But yeah, then I lived in China for my last semester of school, and I was like, I don't think I'm ever going to work here. I think I'm going to go to the Groundlings improv school instead.
Well, I guess all the debate and everything kind of helped your acting and your improv, right? Because you got to really think on the spot.
Yeah, all of this stuff that I did in speech and debate, that was all, spontaneous, or there was even impromptu speaking. I did a lot of that I already kind of knew how to do that for political stuff. And then it was just a matter of like making it comedic, which I also tried to do when I would compete with that kind of stuff. So yeah, it was that was kind of like a natural transition. And I felt like ahead of the game because I had done some of that stuff, at least as far as improv goes, which is such a weird thing when you're first doing it.
Oh yeah. It's like a whole other ball game, I hear. Yeah. Gotta think on your toes.
What's that? Yeah. And I remember taking classes with people that would just like, people would take classes if they just wanted to like open up or like be more personal. I don't know. So people that didn't want to be actors would take like improv classes. So I'm sure it was always like a total shock to them, like these weird exercises that you do. Yeah.
Yeah, it really gets you outside your comfort zone. And yeah, I truly believe in improv. I loved that in drama in school.
Yeah. I think it's like a necessary skill set for everyone. Yeah.
So do you think kind of always inside you was a little bit of that desire to get into acting, into comedy, or where did that whole love come from?
Yeah, I feel so bad. Everything's speech and debate related. I mean, I grew up in a very, very boring town where there's nothing to do but go to church. And other than that, I had like a couple creative friends and we would do silly things. Like we would dress up as characters, or I would dress up like my Filipino grandmother, or we would get really large refrigerator boxes, like huge cardboard boxes that we could fit inside. And we would paint them to be these elaborate characters that we could walk around the city as, like just weird, weird stuff. And but also in my speech and debate program, we had one of the things I also competed in was something called humorous interp, where you essentially take like a 10-person play or 12-person play and you perform it all by yourself, which sounds really weird but it's very cool to watch. And so that was kind of like my comedy bug. And I liked doing silly things. Like when I would run for president at my school in high school, I would make it funny, I would just, it's a good coping mechanism when you grow up in a boring town. So, and I had wanted to be on SNL and stuff. So I think I was always on the Groundlings improv school website when I was in high school. I just didn't know that I would actually do it. Yeah.
Oh, look at that. You actually took that step forward though and was like, I'm just going to go for it.
Yeah, it's odd. I heard
famous for all the best comedians.
Yeah. It's I heard someone on a podcast once talk about how like when you're from a town like mine, that if you try to do something like that, everyone in the town has kind of decided. Am I allowed to swear on this? I don't want to swear.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. He called it Mike Judge's words, not mine. He was like, whenever I would like make a band or do something, everyone would look at me like, don't you know we're the shit people? Like, what are you doing? Like, don't you know? Like everyone kind of everyone who decided not to get out of the box or follow their dreams, like had kind of just like chosen to sign up that, oh no, we're not people who get to do that in this life. You know what I mean? And it was very much like that in my hometown. Like even though George Lucas is from my hometown, like my small hometown, like the creator of Star Wars, but it was very, like, if you ever did something like that, it was really looked down upon. Like, why would you think that that's a real thing? You know what I mean? Or that's a real option. Yeah. But I don't know.
It's good that you actually passed through all those, I guess, those negative comments and those naysayers. I think a lot of people listening today could probably relate to that, whether it's coming even from their own family or friends. Like we've all done it, especially when we want to break outside that, normal box and do something that's out of the ordinary. It's completely relatable. We all get that. And you have as well, obviously.
Yeah, I think I kind of get off on it now, where I'm like, haha, I'm going to do the thing that no one else would do, or
I'll prove you wrong.
Yeah, it's fun. I always say that I'm stupidly brave. And I think it does, everything kind of requires a certain level, or getting to your next level requires a level of like stupid bravery. And I'm unfortunately, I have too much of that.
Have you always been like that? Or do you think it's kind of come over time?
I've foolishly always been like that, even as far as like protecting other people and blah blah and speaking up, and I encourage that for everyone, but sometimes it is dangerous to your career or whatever, you know what I mean? Like I'm like, I don't want those bullies around. I'll be the one that takes the charge and tells everyone what's going on and protect her. I've done silly things like that, which were good in the long run, but yeah, I think I've always had this like need. I don't like, it's funny. I just listened to this audiobook, and it's called like The Cult of Trump. And it's written by someone who was in a cult, and got out of it. And he talks about why some people who are still, following our former president after, so many obvious grievances. And it brought up this old psych study where if you, I'm misdescribing it, but the basic essence is there's a very old psychological study where if you put a red line and a black line on a wall and you bring subjects into a room and everyone's an actor except for the subject, and you tell the person, okay, point to the red line. And if all the actors point to the black line, something like 75% of the time, the normal thinking subject will eventually betray themselves. Like they'll deny what their gut knows, they'll deny their logic, they'll deny their own reality because they're like, what? I must be wrong. Look at all these other lovely people in here that are pointing to the wrong color. And eventually they will betray themselves also sometimes because they want to fit in, and they will choose the opposite color that they know is completely wrong. And I did a lot of psychology classes as well when I was younger, and I just never want to be that person. Like I want anyone to put me in a psych test and I want to be like, haha, I didn't do it. You know what I mean? Like I kind of live my life a little like that, like almost as if I'm always on a hidden camera or I'm always in a psych study and I will not be caught dead betraying myself or like, tricking my mind into doing something I don't want to do or whatever. I at least try. Yeah.
You'd be hilarious on that, that show back in the day, Punked, with Ashton Kutcher.
Yeah.
You'd been hilarious on that.
I'm like, no.
No, you can't get me. No.
Yeah. No.
There's probably a lot of people that are so envious today because they want to be like that. They want to be extra brave and just step outside their comfort zone. But, it is very difficult in day-to-day life. So, take my hat off to you, Ginger. Yes. I love that. Well, I did want to speak to you a little bit about the Groundlings as well, because, I've done a couple of interviews with people that have been to the Groundlings, and they really, even though it is, home of all the greats, all the comedians that we absolutely love and are so famous for their work, but apparently they really put you through the ringer. Is that true? Did you find that as well?
Yes. And I'm not an official groundling. It is a high honor to be an official groundling. Will Ferrell's an official groundling, Kristen Wiig, some of my other friends. But I'm able to perform on that stage, thankfully, because I went through many rounds of that program and I've worked with a lot of groundlings. So they trust me enough to perform with them every once in a while, which means so much to me. But it is a whole thing. I think when I first started, I remember I auditioned and I had never really done acting. I had no clue what I was doing. You're just in a weird room and they're asking you to be characters. And I'm like, I don't know. So I was just kind of impersonating my grandma or doing weird people that I knew in my life. And then you go through levels, but once you get to a certain level before this writer's lab, it's a really long wait list. And when I say long, it's like 3 years long.
Wow.
So yeah, so I was on this like 3-year long wait list before you can even do the next level. So in that time, I started doing a lot of stand-up when I was younger, but I know it's a lot. Actually, my assistant right now is brilliant. She went to an amazing college out here and she was higher than me. She was in Sunday Company at the Groundlings, and she will always share her war stories from, I imagine it's like SNL has a lot of war stories, it's hard. My problem was I didn't write for myself. I was like friendly. I'm like, let me write for everybody. But I should have just been writing to defend myself and to show myself off. But I was like, I'm going to write a fun sketch for my friend. Like I was such an overly giving, Groundling student.
Well, you can say you've been there now and you can share the stories because, as you said, what an honor amongst all those other people that have been there as well.
Yeah. And it's an invaluable education. It's really the only acting school I ever went to, and it's invaluable, full stop. Yeah.
Well, I guess in their mind at that school, you got to pay your dues, right? Everybody wants to be a comedian or an actor, and you just gotta, that's why they probably make it so difficult.
I think it's that combined with, all of us who do comedy, we always start out a little kooky. You know what I mean? Like there's a reason everyone does comedy. It's a lot of personalities, a lot of really high functioning creatives with their own vision. And it's superstars. And sometimes all superstars in one room doesn't always make like the best team, because they're superstars. They should go and be out on stage by themselves or whatever. So but I have so much fun there, and I have way more fond memories than difficult ones. Yeah.
Oh, good. I'm glad. And yay, now I can say I've had another Groundlings on the show.
Yeah.
Well, it really sounds like you're one of those triple or quadruple threats as well. Like you did say you did the debating, but is it also true that you can sing jazz? I read that online.
I did used to sing a lot of jazz. I had a weird magical like time. I don't know. In 2008, I sang at this nightclub where the head of the jazz night was this guy, Darren Johnson, who was actually the very last pianist for Miles Davis. And he was Miles Davis's pianist when he was like 19. And then so he made this this jazz night, and the regular musicians were like, my friend Eric J actually lives in Australia, and he's produced a lot for Odessa, and he worked on The Voice, and he has Grammys for Flume and all these people. Wow. He played guitar in it. And then there's a saxophone player who's very famous, Kamashli Washington, and he was our saxophone player, and I would get to sing, and Prince would come and sit in. It was a bananas alternate reality, and the Old Spice guy was the bar manager. Like it was just all the crazy things. Like I was friends with, like, Prince was my friend that I saw every month, and I had his, we knew his security guard, and Pink would be in the audience, and it was, and Eve, and like Lily Sobieski. It was just it was so bizarre that if I was older, I would have had more fear surrounding it, I think, unfortunately. But I was very young, and it was just like, I just told them, I said, I want to sing. And they were like, okay. And then they liked it. So they kept having me do it. And I really didn't know what I was doing. But it was a blast. It was so special. And all those people they're in every band now. Edward Sharpe and the Magnetic Zeros. They're just all, it was a really sweet time with a lot of musical geniuses.
Do you think there'll be a bit more of that in your future? Is that something you want to do a bit more of?
Yeah, I mean, I'm always, I got to sing with Brian Tyree Henry on a little episode of an HBO show called Room 104. So we did the only musical episode, which was really fun and silly, but I definitely want to do like a musical film. And I'm writing right now, or I've written a feature, and I've written like half of the songs for the feature. And right now I'm filming like a shorter version of it that has some of the music in it. I don't sing in this version of it. I sing in the feature version of it. But yeah, I always want to sing as much as possible.
Oh, fingers crossed. I'm definitely going to keep an eye out for that. Just definitely want to hear some of that. And maybe even, who knows, maybe a bit of musical episode in True Lies. Who knows? Fingers crossed.
Oh my God. We would love it. I'm trying to think if anyone wouldn't like it. Erica would love it. Mike would love it. I don't know if Omar and Steve would like it, but they could be dancers.
Exactly. I think it would make it more funny for them to sing anyway.
Yeah.
It's called making a fool of yourself, It makes it hilarious.
Yes. They're great at that, by the way. By the way, the grumbling you hear is not my stomach. It is my puppy. So if you I apologize.
I hope your puppy's not hungry. Is he okay?
Just sassing his sister right now. He's like, we need to play.
I can't even hear it, so we're good.
Okay, good. Sorry.
So for our audience, True Lies that we're talking about is the new TV show that Ginger is in, playing Helen Tasker, and I'm absolutely loving it, by the way. Like, I'm a little bit annoyed at the moment. There's a few more episodes. Like, I'm still waiting for Disney Plus in Australia.
Yeah.
Like, I can see that there's more episodes you filmed, and I'm like, damn it, come on, Disney Plus, keep up.
Yeah.
So frustrating being here in Australia. Everything comes late. But it is so good, so addictive, by the way. Like, after you finish one episode, I gotta watch the next one.
Oh, thank you.
What was the audition process like for you? Did you automatically know that you'd be perfect for the role of Helen, or did you even audition for another role that we might not know about?
I passed on it a lot because I didn't know about making like a remake, or I don't know. I was worried about that. And then I finally, they had seen a bunch of people, and then finally I was like, okay, if they don't hire anyone from that last round of people and it's still alive, then I think I'm supposed to engage on this thing. It really was on my heart too. It was so weird. It wouldn't go away. And then so I kind of pulled a very unconventional move because I wanted to be able to improvise, and I wanted to do it the way that I wanted to do it. Like I wanted to play her in this kind of quirky, fun way. And so I refused to sign my contract before I did my chemistry session, which is never allowed. And so and it was so weird, but I was just like sitting there like a weirdo, like refusing to sign paperwork. And finally they were like, oh, okay. And so then they brought me in, and Steve and I like instantly had great chemistry. It was so fun. It was like flawless. It was silly. It was joyous. Like it was truly like we all ended every take just like laughing at each other, like the director and the showrunner and Steve and I. And they let us play around a lot. And when I do that, I do that a lot now because I improvise on everything that I do. And so I kind of treat auditions almost like a test, like, hey, I'm going to play around with this. Like I respect the writing, but I also know how I perform best. And that's when I switch things up. And so it's kind of like showing them what they're signing up for. And if they want that, then great. And then if not, okay. Yeah. And I can, of course, I've been in many things where you're not allowed to change stuff on like Showtime or whatever. But for this, yeah, I wouldn't have played her if they didn't let me do it like I was doing. And I changed a lot on the show. I changed more than maybe anything I've ever been in. Maybe, I don't know. The She-Hulk, I changed a lot, but that was different. It was like, Jessica just knew I wanted to play around, the writer. So she would just be like, I half-assed this scene. You do whatever you want. I'd be like, okay.
Does that mean with on the set you're just like cracking up all your co-stars because they're like, oh, I didn't expect her saying that?
It was Tatiana is a good poker face, but we did giggle a lot. We crack each other up the most though on True Lies because it's so silly. Like it's so fun to be spies. Like it's ridiculous. Like it's and we just do some of the silliest things. I don't know. In an episode coming up, they ask me to show that I'm unarmed. So Helen is like, she doesn't know how to do it because she's a brand new spy. So she's like lifting up her skirt and just like doing this weird twirl to show that she doesn't have any weapons. And the guest star, this actor who was playing this like crazy general, his response to it was like, all right, I got it. And it was so funny. Like, cause you would think that character would do some sort of like misogynistic response. And instead he was like, lady, please stop showing me your underwear.
Put it away.
Yeah, we were crying. We would cry laughing every week on True Lies.
I love always. That. Well, that really brings you all closer together too, like a family, right?
Yeah. It's nice. Yeah, we're very, very close, that cast. We're also very, you know, we use the core cast on that show. I mean, we always have guest stars, but you know, Steve and I are so close, and my kids, like Annabella, like stays at my house sometimes, you know what I mean? Like, so then in my head, I think she's my kid. And I love Mike and Erica and Omar. Like Omar's so cool. So I feel very, very lucky. Yeah.
It's like being a big kid on set, right? It's, you know, when you're a kid, you think about how cool it would be to be a spy. Now you get to do that.
Yes, it truly is. And I even remember during the pilot, Steve got to do a really fun action sequence, and then he just grabbed my hands, and like a child, he started jumping up and down. And I was like, what are you doing? He's like, I love doing this. And I was like, oh my God, like we do love doing this. And we, in this upcoming episode, at least in America, we're rappelling into a room like secretly. So we're on wires, and it was the first time we were both in the same like spy tactical gear. So we're both like matching like spy versus spy or something, and we're swinging into a room, and we're like, you know, like it's so fun. It's fun to play something you would really never be. Like I'm not going to be a spy, so it's so fun to, you know, to do that. But yeah, it's a very joyous experience, and it is like being a kid. And I think that when you're like that, that's when it works the best.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And on those wires, it's actually you guys, or do you got stunt doubles for that? Or
Oh my God, it's us on the wires. I'm gonna put up a video sometime this month that shows the reality of the scene that we did, because the first time we did it, I was so confident and I'm like upside down. And then I'm like, hoist me up. And they did. And I banged my knees and everything on this like
oh,
fake wall because I didn't like pull my body in. I was just having too much fun that I forgot to protect myself. But yeah. But being
I
on
love that.
wires being on wires is fun. Yeah.
Expectation and reality video.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I love that.
100%.
And
Yeah.
is it true before you actually got this project, you hadn't watched the True Lies movie as well?
I know I hadn't. I haven't seen anything. Like it's so embarrassing the number of movies I've actually seen in my life, and it's people are forever making references to things on sets, and I'm like, yeah, I don't know. But I haven't. I really just, especially in my childhood, I didn't see a lot of movies. We only had five growing up. We owned five. I I didn't. It like wasn't a thing. So, and then prior to my audition, True Lies is now out, like streaming, but it wasn't available. So I had to buy a DVD player and a DVD. That didn't come in time. And then I was like, well, I don't really want to see this iconic performance anyways. Like it's just going to affect me and make me compare myself. So it was truly a gift that I hadn't seen it, because then I just treated it like, well, how do I want to play this lady? You
Yeah,
know?
absolutely. I was
Never.
going to say that's an
Yeah.
advantage of not watching it,
It
because
was.
then you're probably overthinking everything, going, I don't want to copy the original. I
Yes,
want to make
I
it
can't do that.
my own. Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that way you can play around with it a little bit, make the character a bit different. And I think that's what people are loving about the show as well.
Oh, thank you. It's so fun to play Helen. I really love her. And I really love working with Steve. I feel so lucky having gone from Tatiana Maslany in She-Hulk to Steve Howie, because I just love them both. And they're such good performers and really fun people to hang out with. Like I, I lost my voice on this show from so many different things, but a lot of it was just from laughing. Oh my God. Just so silly.
Well, I love Steve too. He's an incredible actor. I love him in anything I see him in. And also,
Yeah,
between us ladies, good looking too. Like,
oh my God. I know. Even I have like representatives on my team that they're like, wow. So I'm like, stop it. Like,
you get to play his
start.
wife. Woo!
I know. He's not hard to be attracted to. Yeah, we love Steve Howie.
Well, I do want to talk about that also, that side of acting that probably a lot of people don't even think about. Like, you've got to come in and create this fake relationship that you've been married for years, have kids, and, you know, you got to kiss and be affectionate and hug and all this when you've probably just met 5 minutes ago on set. So has that always been a bit of a challenge for you to kind of, is that really awkward? How do you navigate all of that?
I'm always a love interest. Most of my career, I've been a love interest. So it's happened
You
a
just drop
lot.
dead gorgeous. That's why.
Oh, thank you. I'm like, yeah, you can be the girlfriend. It's I don't know. I've been really lucky with my co-stars. I'm a very vulnerable actor, and everyone I think I played a love interest to is as well. And it's more for me, it's always been like um almost like getting a great level of trust is the only thing that's important. And I get that trust from my co-stars by them telling me about their lives and me telling them about their lives. I did a show for the Duplass's called Togetherness on HBO, and it was myself and an actor, Steve Zissis, who's such a love. But instantly, like that's the very campy element of acting, is you get to know each other so quickly. You know each other in a week. You're just spending all this time and you have to share all these life stories. And I've never like had to like fake chemistry with anyone, because I've had open, vulnerable actors, and it's never weird. And I do fall in love with all of my co-stars. I fall in love with most of my friends. It's a weird way to explain it, but there's always a moment with my friends where I'm like, I love this person now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it doesn't feel any different. And but it's like I I don't know how to explain it. It's I can't say it's not love. Like I truly have loved, I have like been in love with these people that I act with, you know,
Yeah,
but
it's
it's
mutual respect
temporary.
as well.
Yeah, and it's temporary and it's contained. And but yeah, the only time I ever had a hard time with it, um, it didn't need to be fabricated, and it was, and over time my co-star felt more comfortable with me, and then it was a really beautiful connection on screen. So I don't know, it's just you have to really trust your person, or I don't like to fake anything. So I think with the trust, then I feel safe to care about them and they feel safe to care about me, and that's how I like to work as an actor. I think you can also fake it, you know, but
Yeah.
I don't like to fake it. So I have to get from my co-stars that that instant, you know, overshare kind of
Yeah.
bonding.
Let's get to know
And
each
I
other
have that with
first.
Steve in spades.
Yeah.
Yeah. My first phone call with Steve after I was cast, we were like, yo, this, blah, blah, blah. I mean, if anyone could have recorded that, I don't know. It was just, we know everything about each other.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you connected instantly, and it makes your job way easier as well. You don't have to fake it, as you said. I love that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
another amazing actor you did work with as well for an episode was Matthew Lillard, who, you know, I know back in the day as Shaggy.
I know.
To me, he's
I know.
always going to be the Scooby Doo guy, but I
I
absolutely love
know.
him. So hilarious that episode, and how even Harry, you know, didn't want him around you and even got a bit jealous. How was it working with Matthew?
It's so fun. I love the writing of that episode. I love Matthew Lillard. He's so easy to love. He's such a great actor. He's just the best. Like he's so fun, and it made so much sense. I mean, I know why the writers wrote it, because I they laugh that I've like dated sociopaths in my life, and so they wrote a sociopath essentially for me to have too much empathy for, and just be like, no, he's great. I'm like, I see what you're doing. But it just is so, that connection with Helen and this like person that she didn't realize is also an assassin is so fun, and he gives really interesting reads of things. So it's always very natural, because I'm never predicting his response.
Mm.
Sometimes it's very surprising to me, which I love. So it's easy to be very present, and he's just rad. He's great. He brought up the, you know, when you do a series, you know, everyone's excited for the first couple of episodes, and then they start getting tired by a certain, you know, episode 4, which it was. And then if you have a guest star like that come in and just blast the room with their energy, everyone's like, oh yeah, this is special. Like, we got to level up for Matthew Lillard. And I adore him. He's so great.
So he did a
Yeah.
lot of improv as well, just like your character.
Yeah, I think he did. He definitely, yes, he did. He definitely made me cry laughing. What did he do? He did something really odd where I think he like kissed Steve in a scene. Like it was so weird. He was like hugging him, and I could see where the camera was, and I was like, oh no, I'm losing it. And I'm on camera and they're gonna see it. But it was so funny. He just would do really funny, awkward things. And yeah, and he hung out with us. He's a love. Like, I'm so glad that he is, you know. I want people like that I've seen over the years to like be awesome and be someone I want to be friends with, you know.
Yeah.
It's so great. Yeah, I
Oh,
root
I
for
hope he
those.
comes back. It would be an awesome guest star again.
Yeah, I know. It'd be so fun.
Oh, what an awesome show. And your character Helen as well knows a lot of different languages. Are these languages you already knew, or did you have to just learn the lines? And do you even have maybe like a language kind of tutor on set just to help you with
Oh my goodness.
pronunciation? Because
Oh my goodness.
I don't know the
wish I
languages,
did.
but they all sound incredible.
There was a lot. For the pilot, I don't know French, but I was able to like take some time to figure out the French that I was speaking and listen back. And I had a language coach for the pilot, but for the series, we work so quickly. And then I'll just like find out that on that day I'm speaking Russian, and I'm like, what? And so I listen back a lot. I have a good ear for language, which is why I did learn Chinese at a time. But but it's hard. I mean, I hope that they sound okay. I assume they vet them at some point when we get to the edit, because I don't ever have to ADR them, but it's a lot of listening. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very impressive because, it's hard enough just to learn one language, but, as you
Yeah.
just said, you're reading the script and go, what? I have to do Russian? Huh? Why didn't you just tell
Yeah.
me?
I know. And sometimes I'm like, yeah, and it will be like last minute sometimes. And I'm like, and they're like, check your email. There's a recording. And I'm like, okay. But listening to it right before I say it is kind of the best way anyway. So as long as I have that, I can just like repeat it to myself a million times and then go into the scene. And all I'm really saying in my head is the word. And then I get to the word and then I feel good. Yeah.
That's really incredible. You can just listen to it and then it just comes out of your mouth, because I've tried that and it just does not come out the same way.
I think it might have to do with like when I learned music, I learned to play by ear. That was the program that I did, So maybe it has something to do with like learning that type of way,
Yeah.
in something. Yeah.
Very impressive. And it was also in the show, you travel to a lot of different countries. I know this might be a bit of a stupid question, but I'm sure I'm not the only one thinking it. Do you actually travel to those countries, or is that all just a little bit of TV magic? Because I'm like, wow, you lucky girl.
Oh, I wish. And if that was the case, we'd all go to Australia and visit you.
Woo!
Um,
Yes.
But oh my God, I wish. I think that's one of those things you actually get to do if the show is like successful for 5 years. I know Modern Family did like an episode in Australia and they all
Yes.
actually like got to go. Yeah. Oh my gosh, my dog just got mad at me. But no, we don't. We make Atlanta look like a lot of different places, and we use our imaginations.
Yeah, it's TV magic. You've made, wow, you've made Atlanta look like Paris. That's incredible. That's impressive.
Yeah, that was actually in New Orleans, which does look a little more like Paris, but they did a really good job with Paris, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. That's why I wanted to ask, because a lot of our everyday listeners probably don't think about all the movie, TV show magic that they can do. It's pretty incredible.
Yeah. It's always fun to learn. And on She-Hulk, there was so much magic that I was like, oh, that's how I learned so much. I learned a lot on every job that I do, how everything really works. It's fascinating. It's like being in grad school or
Because
something.
I'm guessing with She-Hulk, it's like a lot of green screens and things like that to actually create her.
Yeah, lots of different eye lines and motion capture. And it's amazing like how much they can just put into a scene that was never there.
Mm.
So for us, it's a lot of using our imagination, but it's cool to see like what's necessary for the cameras in order to make that possible in the edit. And it's a lot of dots. There's dots on everything, dots on people's faces, dots on pieces of paper, everywhere there's dots.
Yeah.
Very
Well,
Kusama.
it's definitely how they create that magic. Yeah, I saw a video on Facebook and it was all about how they created, Avatar, and then how they created The Hobbit and things like that. Like, incredible what they can do with cameras. I'm blown away. I'm still blown away, and I know this stuff.
Me too.
Well, my last question about True Lies, is there anything you want to see them put in the show, or is there anything you'd like to see your character do next?
Oh my God.
Haven't done already?
I definitely want to have my Filipino family, and I want them somehow accidentally involved in a mission. Like their quirks actually help our mission,
Yes.
Either their gifts for karaoke or just them being a nuisance helps us or something. And I don't know, I really want, Mike is very funny, and we always want to be stuck together so that we can be kind of like, so that Helen and Luther can find out that they love joking around. And then, we have to like we're joking too much on a mission and everyone has to listen to us. But I would like to see that silly friendship, like how we find a friendship being like, wait, are you kind of goofy? Me too.
And then Steve's character gets jealous again. Oh, who knows?
He's like, you guys make your jokes together.
And maybe that singing episode. Fingers crossed. That would be cool.
No, it would be so fun.
We all want to hear you sing. Your singing has to get you out of like a little mishap with a mission. Who knows?
I would love that. Oh, I have always wanted to do a scene where I do some sort of training for like how to seduce the enemy. But in that same episode, I lose a tooth. So I have to seduce the enemy with all my sexy training, but I'm having to like
It's
cover
missing.
that line that I don't have a tooth.
That would be amazing. I love that idea. Let's
I
just grab
really
this snippet of the interview and make sure we send it to
yeah,
the writers and everything. Yeah. Especially
definitely
if it
make it.
continues on, they need some more episode ideas.
I know that's my goal.
But you've already done so much in your career as well, Ginger. And I did read as well. You've done various actual voice work for, shows like Family Guy and American Dad. That's like one of my favorites, Robot Chicken. Is that like a totally different type of acting for you? Because you don't really aren't working off anyone else, right? Or do you really love that because you get to be goofy?
I think that uh I think it's I am overly physical when I do voiceover. I think you're just supposed to kind of like do the voices,
Yes.
but I'm still acting with my body when I do voiceovers. So I'm sure it looks insane whenever I do it, but it's a full body experience for me. And, it's a very fun one. I did Tuca and Birdie. I really like the creator of Tuca and Birdie. That show has Ali Wong and Tiffany Haddish. And yeah, I was lucky that I knew when I first moved to LA, the first thing I did was I had taken a writer's class and I met someone who went to Yale and his friend was a writer on Family Guy. And I was like, can I meet her? And so he gave me her contact because she had also gone to Yale and she let me take her to this little pancake place and ask her questions about Family Guy. And she's been one of the longest, Cherry Chiva, she's been one of the longest writers there. She now has the film Joyride that's coming out soon. She's amazing. And it was so nice. So I knew a lot of the Family Guy people early on because I was allowed to come to table reads out of kindness. She just would be like, you can come. And so I would bring friends, like we were all like waiters. I'd be like, you want to come to a Family Guy table read? And so I could bring people to Family Guy and I knew people from Family Guy. But then when I was in the movie Ted, which is all by those people, Seth was the only person I didn't know. So I think I was the only person he didn't know that was in the movie Ted. So when I did the movie, he didn't realize I knew like his whole squad of writers. But yeah, I've always been grateful for Cherry and that whole kind of first year in LA experience, privilege, really.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And you can say that you've done voiceover work now and hopefully do some more.
I know, I hope so. I was almost a singing animal and something, but I just didn't get it.
Oh, that's all right. There's heaps of singing animal movies and TV shows. There'll be another time. That's what we always need in animation, some singing animals.
Yeah. Well, obviously.
So, even though you've already achieved so much, Ginger, what else can we expect from you in the future? Is there anything coming up that we can look forward to?
Oh, you're so sweet. Well, right now I'm hoping to sell more shows after the writer's strike. I've sold shows before, but they haven't made it to the air. I would like that to happen. And then I'm working on this feature right now. I'm filming some of the like a proof of concept for it. And yeah, I just really want to make my movies. I really like writing and directing the things that I write. So I hope to do more of that. And eventually I would like to do like Broadway and all these different things. But I don't know. Right now I'm just mostly working on, because we're in a writer's strike, the things that I've already created that I can direct. And every time I direct, the couple times that I learn so much. Yesterday, I was stumped on something embarrassingly for like 2 hours. And I'm like, well, this is what you wanted. You wanted to force yourself to learn. So here we go, sweetheart. And I'm on YouTube trying to figure everything out, doing the math of different camera frame rates. So, but I'm excited to make this new one. I call them my babies. All my little projects are my babies. Yeah.
Well, whenever they do get made, which I truly believe they will, you come back on the show and talk to me all about it.
Oh my, I'd be happy to. Yeah.
And I could totally see Broadway too. That would be incredible for you. Oh, wow.
Yeah, I really want to. Yeah, Tatiana Maslany is on Broadway right now. She starts at the end of this month. So everyone from She-Hulk is going to see her. Yeah.
Oh, look at that. She-Hulk, she's doing everything.
I know.
Girl power. Woo!
Yeah.
And do we know yet if there's going to be another season of True Lies as well, or still waiting to hear?
I will know soon. I will know this month. and I never know about Marvel. They don't tell us anything. But I'm lucky to be in that family, and I love going to all the premieres and seeing the films. And I just saw Guardians of the Galaxy, and James Gunn has always been so supportive. He's always let me like message him and be like, I need help with the VFX thing. Who can I talk to? And he'll just instantly tell me. And he's I love him as a creator. And if he was also an actor, I would say I want his career, because he's writing and directing and running things and
doing it all.
Yeah, I really love that. And I love the clarity of his vision and things. So, but yeah, I hope I get to do more of all of it. Yeah.
Oh, I hope so. We just want to see more of you, Ginger. Be on every single TV show and movie. That's what we want. And before we move on to a really fun game that we'll play very soon, which can't wait to play with you. What advice would you give to our audience today who might want to follow their dreams of becoming an actor or a comedian?
Yes. Oh my goodness. Everyone needs to 100% tune into their gut. Like if you have, but I don't know, if you ever have a ping, I really think people's souls choose what they want to do. And I think that we are unhappy when we don't do what our soul is telling us to do. And it can feel like it takes so much bravery, and it feels like you can be like a very different or other. But I think any little itch that you have that goes, oh, I think I should maybe do that, or my gut really wants to do this, it's very important to listen to that. And I used to make a mistake. I would fine tune who I would take advice from. I remember at a certain point I went, okay, I'm only going to take advice from people more successful than me. And then I thought that was the right thing to do. But then I realized doctors for certain things definitely didn't know more than me. And my managers didn't know more than me. And my agents never did. And how could they? They've never lived in my body. They don't really know what I'm capable of or what I truly want to do, because they're not me. So if your compass is truly yourself, which in a way can sound selfish, it's not, because if your purpose can also inspire other people or help other people, and it's a disservice to everyone else in the world if you don't do what your soul is itching to do. And I think it truly is healthy to do that, even though it can be scary. So I always encourage people to truly like get quiet and listen to themselves, and not let their brains be incepted by other people's fear and other people's doubt.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's your life. You might as well do what you want to do. Doesn't matter what other people say.
Yeah. And they don't know. People can have your best interests in mind and still really downplay what they think you're capable of, and they would never know. No one knows if someone has like a poet inside of them. You know what I mean? It's very private.
Only you do. You can pick and choose advice every,
Yes. Yeah.
You can choose what you want to take on board. Yeah. I love that. Thank you so much, Ginger. I hope everyone does take that on board. That was really good advice. So I think it's now time for this really fun game, Ginger, just to finish off today. So it's a legendary game here on Rave It Up. It's called the 2-minute hot seat. And what we do is I ask you various questions, and you just have to pick your preference. So it's like dogs or cats or singing or dancing. And you have to answer as many questions in 2 minutes as possible. And when we finish, we'll see where you sit on the leaderboard up against everyone else that's played the game on the show. Okay. Like a bit of competition. Yeah, I can see that competitive look in your eye.
I'm ready. Trust. Okay.
I haven't had anybody else from True Liars on, but I'm hoping to. Who knows? Let's set the bar nice and high for them, all right? Yeah, okay, for whenever they do come on the show.
Okay, perfect.
All right. Are you all ready, Ginger? Yes? I'm giving you 2 minutes 15 just because we're over Zoom. There's a bit of delay. That's what I do for Zoom interviews. Nice and fair. All right, here we go. Stopwatch on. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Instagram or YouTube?
Instagram.
Pop or country music?
Pop.
Cook or clean?
Cook.
Beach or pool?
Beach.
Comedy or action?
Comedy.
Blondes or brunettes?
Blonde.
Sweet or salty?
Sweet.
Book or e-reader?
Oh, e-reader.
Home cooking or dining out?
Dining out.
Bottomless bowl or bottomless drink?
Bottomless drink?
Singing or dancing?
Singing.
Dogs or cats?
Dogs.
Italian or Chinese food?
Italian.
Summer or winter?
Winter.
Jennifer Lopez or Scarlett Johansson?
J-Lo.
Johnny Depp or Will Smith?
Oh. Will Smith.
Shop in-store or online?
Online.
Cinema or home movie?
Cinema.
Ice cream or gelato?
Gelato.
Cake or cookies?
Cake.
Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Christmas or your birthday?
Birthday.
Night or day?
Night.
Bus or train?
Train.
Talk to the dead or see the future?
Ooh, see the future.
Early bird or night owl?
Early bird.
Eye color blue or brown?
Blue.
Driver or passenger?
Driver.
Texting or calling?
Texting.
LA or New York?
New York.
Friday or Saturday?
Friday.
TV or movies?
Movies.
Movies or books?
Movies.
Fiction or non-fiction books?
Nonfiction.
Snow or surf?
Snow.
Freeze time or time travel?
The first one.
Burger or pizza?
Pizza.
Ketchup or barbecue sauce?
Ketchup.
Wine or beer?
Wine.
Leather or denim?
Leather.
City or country?
City.
Biting your nails or picking your nose?
Biting my nails.
Pants or shorts?
Shorts.
Tattoos or piercings?
Tattoos.
Backpack or suitcase?
Suitcase.
Ice cream or gelato?
Gelato.
And we're out of time.
I got too excited about it.
I was meant to say ice cream or chocolate. I said ice cream or gelato earlier. I was like, I read that one wrong. You look like you rethought talk to the dead or see the future, and you're like,
No, I really wanted to put some thought into that. And then I'm like, it's a time game.
it's a time game, quickly.
That's a tricky one. Talk to the dead or see the future. I feel like I already see the future, so I should have said talk to the dead.
Yeah, that's always my answer. I'd say talk to the dead. I'm just like, especially if that means everybody that's ever died, even people I haven't met. That would be really cool. Let's go talk to Elvis. Let's go talk to, Michael Jackson, whatever, How many questions do you think you answered in that time, Ginger?
I don't know. 207.
It does feel like that, doesn't it? Well, you have answered. Oh, I didn't even tell you. Top of the Rave It Up leaderboard for Zoom interviews is 63 questions. Do you think you beat that? Well, you've answered 46, which is really, really good. So you're sitting number 14.
Oh, God.
Number 14. You're really good.
Care about the questions. I should have rapid fired. I'm nobody. That's so funny.
That's all right. Hopefully you set the bar nice and high, and then everyone else does less than you.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed for you.
That's the goal.
Well, that's always a lot of fun. It's a good way for all your fans to get to know you a little bit better too.
Thank you. No, I love that.
Now, before we finish up today, I have a really famous closing statement. It's probably the most important question here on Rave It Up. Knowing what you know now, what would you tell your 14-year-old self?
Oh my goodness. I would say, oh my God, I should have pre-planned this. I don't know. I would just say, keep doing what you're doing and get out of Modesto.
And keep being brave. Keep brave and brave.
Yeah.
I love that. I'm so jealous that you were so brave when you were a kid. I was like the most shy person you'd ever meet in your life.
Yeah. Oh, well, this is brave. All of this is brave.
Oh, yes. I've definitely got out of my comfort zone as I've gotten older. And now look what I'm doing.
Yeah. Isn't that fascinating? I find that the most remarkable when people are like, I used to be shy, but look at me now. I'm like, wow, that's amazing. Like
most successful people are like that. Anybody that's even the spotlight, you're like, you used to be shy? No way.
Yeah.
So kind of like when they say the nerds end up becoming your bosses and things like that.
Yeah, definitely.
And if our audience want to find out what you're up to in the future, Ginger, where can we go follow you? Instagram, Facebook, wherever?
Yeah, Instagram. I'm not on Facebook anymore. Instagram, I'm Ginger the Jester on everything. So for TikTok, I'm Ginger the Jester, and Instagram, and there's a new one called Blue Sky. And
I didn't know that.
I know. I think it's like
too many
Twitter. Yeah, who knows? So far I'm like, there's like 5 people on it. Yeah, it's just Ginger the Jester on all the things.
Beautiful.
And
Let's go follow you, and I'll put all the links below for everyone as well. And thank you
thank
so
you.
much for your time today, Ginger. I know you're a busy woman writing all these things, but you took the time to talk to me, so thank you.
Thank you for your energy, and I'm more than happy to. And I'll tell my cast too. They got to come meet you.
Yes,
I really
please. Tell Steve, bring him on. We'll talk about that kissing thing too. No, I'm joking.
Yeah, yeah. His answer's completely
See
different.
his
I'll be like,
answer, yeah. Whether
yeah,
that's
gotta
really
play one side
awkward
by
or he
side.
likes that, who knows?
Yeah.
Well, you're welcome on the show anytime too, Ginger. I absolutely love your energy and so much advice that you gave to our audience as well. And I hope everyone has learnt a lot just from your story and how you got to where you are today.
Thank you. Thanks
You're
for,
welcome.
for being interested in it.
Oh, of course. You got such an interesting life. I loved researching you. Definitely did not feel like work whatsoever.
Oh,
So
great.
whenever your new stuff gets finally made, you let me know. Come on the show. And who
No, for
knows?
sure. Yeah.
Maybe if there's another season, which I touch wood, new season of True Lies, come on a show. We'll talk about some of the episodes in depth. That would be really fun.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, especially after they all air. That'll be fun.
And I think a really important question is, do you ever have any plans to come to Australia? We can meet in person.
I know. It's so funny. I had my friend Eric has lived there for Eric J has lived there for almost like 10 years or something now. It's kind of crazy that I haven't gotten there. And my dear friend Ashling B was just there from This Way Up. I definitely want to go to Australia. I want to see all the animals too.
We have some
Am I that basic?
animals.
Am I that basic that I really want to see a koala?
That's what
But
everybody
no,
says. It's all good. I know we got
I
some
know.
dangerous animals too that scare people, but we also have some really cute ones too.
Yeah. I'm gonna focus on the cute.
Yeah, just stay away from the dangerous ones. You're good.
Yeah.
Yeah. And no, we do not have just kangaroos in our backyard, all right? Especially in Sydney. You got to go to the zoo for them.
You have them in your house, right?
Yeah,
No,
yeah, yeah. People think we rode them to school, but no, that's not true. Well, keep in touch, Ginger, and we'll definitely have a chat again in the future. We'd love it.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Well, I hope you'll enjoy today's interview and learn so much from Ginger and her story. If you'd like to learn even more wisdom and hear even more incredible stories from celebrities and successful people that we've had a chat to, please visit our website, raveituptv.com. All of the podcasts and videos are there for you to enjoy. And while you're there, please also check out our 2 books. One behind me called Knowing What I Know Now, as well as a mini ebook that I wrote called Staying Strong, Finding Inner Peace During Hard Times. But for now, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.